Hey everyone, welcome to the Classic Matches Breakdown series. In this series, I dive into some of the most iconic games in football history, revisiting the tactical battles that define them. Today, we're heading back to the 2017 Champions League final, Juventus versus Real Madrid. Let's break down what really happened on the pitch and how the tactics shaped the outcome. Let's start with the starting lineups. On paper, Allegri's Juventus line up in a 3-4-1-2, but as soon as the game kicks off, they actually shape into more of a 4-2-3-1. In goal, of course, it's Gianluigi Buffon. At the back, Alexandro takes the left flank. Then comes the iconic BBC trio, the backbone of Juve's defense in that era, with Chiellini and Bonucci at centre-back, and Balzali on the right. In midfield, Pjanic and Caldera form the double pivot. Pjanic handles most of the build-up and transitions, he's the playmaker in deeper areas, while Caldera focuses more on breaking up attacks and providing defensive cover. Ahead of them, we've got a trio of attacking midfielders, Dani Alves on the right, Dybala through the middle, and Mandžukić operating as a wide left attacking midfielder, a role he actually plays quite a lot that season. It's unusual on paper, but it works well in Allegri's system. Leading the line up front is Gonzalo Higuaín. Now let's take a look at how Real Madrid set up. On paper, it's the classic 4-3-3. But as the match kicks off, we actually see Madrid shift into a 4-4-2 diamond in possession. The goalkeeper is Navas. At the back, it's Marcelo, Ramos, Varane, and Carvajal, a solid, experienced backline. In midfield, Kroos plays on the left, Casemiro sits deepest, Modric takes the right side, and Isco gets a free role at the top of the diamond. Up front, it's the usual duo, Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema. Right after kickoff, it's clear Zidane makes a deliberate tweak. Isco doesn't stay wide on the right like a typical winger. Instead, he tucks into the number 10 role, sitting just behind the strikers and forming a diamond midfield alongside Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro. Zidane's decision to start Isco over Bale isn't just about form, it's a smart tactical move. No matter how Juventus set up, whether it's a 3-5-2, a 3-4-2-1, or a 4-2-3-1, they always crowd the middle of the pitch. If Real stick with a flat 4-3-3, they risk being outnumbered in midfield. In the first half, Juventus focus heavily on winning the midfield battle. Their game plan is clear: shut down the connection between Kroos, Casemiro, and Modric. In this sequence, Kroos gets on the ball, Dybala immediately closes down the space around Casemiro, trying to cut off the next pass. But this is where Isco makes a big difference. By dropping deeper and moving intelligently across the pitch, Isco becomes a constant outlet, available to receive the ball and keep things ticking. His movement helps Real Madrid maintain control and avoid being completely overrun in midfield. In this sequence, Casemiro often finds himself surrounded by 4 Juventus players, but thanks to that diamond setup, Isco acts as the extra link, so Zidane's tactical setup is quite foresighted. In the first half, Real Madrid really struggle to create chances. Juventus do a great job cutting off the connection between Madrid's midfield and the front two. Time and time again, we see Ronaldo and Benzema isolated up top, left to take on Juve's entire back line on their own, and with no support, they barely get a sniff at goal. There's just no link-up play, no rhythm in the final third. Another key tactic of Juve's first-half game plan is to attack down the left. In this moment, Bonucci looks for Mandžukić with long diagonal balls. Mandžukić holds it up brilliantly, often using his body to knock it down for Alexandro. That left side becomes Juve's go-to route, and Carvajal is basically stuck in a 1v2, constantly under pressure. Juventus start overloading the left, 2 players flooding that side to create a numerical advantage. They quickly switch the ball to the right, and just as the cross comes in, we see 3 Juve players lurking on the left, ready to attack the space. Caldera makes a smart run from Carvajal's blind side, moving straight in front of him. Carvajal is caught out of position, and Juve nearly punish them, only the cross is slightly too high for Caldera to connect. Real escape, but just barely. Moments later, Bonucci goes long again, straight to Mandžukić. And once again, you can see how dominant Mandžukić is in these aerial duels. Carvajal is really feeling the heat. Now, while Juve hammer away down their left, It's not like Real Madrid just sit back and take it. Their right side has some bite too. Yes, Mandžukić is physically stronger than Carvajal, but when it comes to speed, Carvajal has the edge. And on this play, Real finally find a moment to break. Benzema holds up the ball brilliantly, and as the attack builds, Mandžukić just can't keep up with Carvajal's burst down the right. Here's where things unravel for Juve. Chiellini makes a surprising decision. Instead of staying close to Ronaldo, he steps up to cut off the passing lane. But in doing so, he leaves the middle exposed. And you already know what happens next. Ronaldo, calm, clinical, always in the right place, punishes them. That's one of the few quality chances Real get in the first half, and of course, CR7 makes it count. After going behind, Allegri reacts quickly. He shifts Mandžukić from that wide left role into a central position. With Mandžukić inside, Alexandro finally becomes the main outlet down the left. And Chiellini? He starts pushing forward to support the attack. Now this is the left side threat Juve had been missing earlier. The shape looks far more dangerous. But here's the question, why didn't Allegri make this adjustment sooner? The answer lies in Juve's backline. That BBC trio is rock solid when the space is tight. But once things open up, chasing Ronaldo and Benzema becomes a serious challenge. Allegri knows this, which is why he's hesitant to release Sandro too early. And don't forget, Ronaldo spends most of the first half deliberately drifting into Chiellini and Sandro's zone, constantly probing, pulling defenders around, and making it even riskier for Juve to push numbers forward. This change from Allegri starts to shift the momentum of the match. From that point on, we see Juventus consistently creating overloads inside Real Madrid's box. Here's one moment, Pjanic drives into the area, and Mandžukić holds his position as the central target, once again pinning Carvajal. Neither Varane nor Ramos steps in to help, and Mandžukić keeps causing problems. Right after a failed Real attack, Juve hit back with a quick counter. A Juve player swings in a cross from the flank, and just look at Real's box, Dybala, Mandžukić, and Higuain are all in position. Real are defending 2v3 in their own penalty box. Not ideal. And then, Juve's tactical plan finally pays off. Bonucci launches a pinpoint long ball to Alexandro. As Sandro squares it across, we see a huge defensive lapse from Real. Both Carvajal and Varane leave Mandžukić unmarked, a crucial mistake. In this situation, Varane is clearly the one closest to Mandžukić. That should be his man. Carvajal's half-step delay is all it takes. Mandžukić scores with a spectacular overhead kick. Looking back, once Allegri moves Mandžukić centrally, Zidane needs to react. He should have instructed Ramos and Varane to mark tighter, especially Varane, who should be on Mandžukić the moment he shifts inside. Instead, Juve keep targeting Carvajal, and Real pay the price. After that, chances become few and far between for both sides. Real can't break through, and Juve don't find a second either. The first half ends with the score locked at 1-1. Let's start by summarizing the first half, beginning with Allegri's Juventus. They do a great job pressing in midfield and consistently target Carvajal through Mandžukić, and it works. Even after going behind, they don't panic. Instead, Allegri makes a decisive move, pushing Mandžukić into a central striker role. That switch leads directly to the equalizer. It's a brave tactical call, and it pays off. The only clear blemish is Chiellini's mistake on the Ronaldo goal. Without that, Juve might have gone into the break with a lead. Now let's talk about Zidane's Real Madrid. Using Isco in a central role was definitely a smart move. That positioning helped Madrid early on. But overall, the first half is rough for Real, and Zidane doesn't really respond. Once Juventus equalize, the French manager looks short on answers. He doesn't anticipate Allegri's shift to a two-striker setup, and he offers no protection for Carvajal, who's clearly struggling. Casemiro gets completely neutralized, Ronaldo and Benzema are isolated, the backline starts to unravel, and the marking is unorganized. Still, in classic Ronaldo fashion, even though he's barely involved, he shows up when it matters most. One chance, one goal. It keeps Madrid afloat when the whole system looks like it's falling apart. Tactically, Allegri wins the first half. No doubt about it. But football is a 90-minute fight. So the question now is, how does Zidane respond? Can he turn things around? And how will Allegri adjust? I'll break down the second half tactical battle in the next video. Stay tuned.